In 2011, the Sonic series turned 20. At this time in Dude's history, Sonic had gone through some, questionable adventures, I guess you could say. The games were not doing so hot, yeah, everyone knows this. Without making the same Sonic 06 joke that's been milked dry for the last decade and a half. Jesus Christ, this game is old. The game left a very clear blemish on the series, and at that time, it just kinda felt like Sega was literally throwing shit at a wall and hope it stick. If you need any indication how insane the series was at the time, well, let me talk about it real quick. This dude was getting thrown into shit like the Arabian Nights, the Knights of the Round Table, and he even turned into a fucking werehog? What even is a fucking werehog? Despite the obvious insanity of the latter, Sonic Unleashed did leave an impact on the series. It went on to define the modern Sonic Boost gameplay that we still know and love to this very day. Sort of. The game that would follow this being Sonic Colors, which completely removed the fucking werehog and just focused on straight up, speed and platforming, the thing that Sonic was very much known for. Sonic Colors was definitely a right step in the right direction, and given that it was about to be Sonic's 20th anniversary, I'm guessing Sega had to cook something because they had to redeem themselves after the 15th anniversary. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, Sonic Generations. This game would be released in 2011, and the game in question, being a celebration of Sonic's 20th anniversary. The whole premise of the game being that it would take levels from Sonic's past, give them a makeover, and basically remix them. Not every level is one-to-one with their original counterparts. This game would also, for better or worse, be the first game to establish classic Sonic as his own character. And as we all know,
It's been generations since I've seen you.
Yeah. Obviously, this decision being made by Sega to appease both novice and veteran fans of the Sonic games, and it 100% did the job because Generations would go on to be wildly successful, and again, makes me wonder what the fuck Sega was doing when they made Lost World. Before we really get into this game and how I feel about it, I do want to kind of give a little backstory because, I like kind of giving some backstory to these. This was my first ever Sonic game I owned. I still even have the original PS3 copy from 2013. I don't have the case anymore. I don't know where the hell the case went. That boy is long gone. So is my PS3, but we'll talk about that some other time. This game, in all the 10 years I play it, it still gives me some wonderful memories, even to this very day. I revisited this game many times over the years. I've played it on PlayStation, I played it on Xbox, I even own it on PC, and obviously, with Shadow Gens, I own it on PS5 now. Like, I own it every fucking where now. I also owned it on 3DS, but no one gives a fuck about that version. I still consider this one to be the best of the Boost series, with Shadow's equivalent being right behind it. But why? Like, why do I find this game to still be, one of the best, despite the many Sonic games we've gotten over the years? Let's talk about it. Sonic Generations has you take control over both Sonics, blazing through 9 returning zones from Sonic's past. Levels ranging from classic Genesis levels to, what was considered to be modern at the time. Just to throw us right into it, all these levels are designed really well. As I mentioned before, it takes the levels from Sonic's past and kind of remixes them. Like I said, it doesn't go one-to-one with the original layouts. Each level features wonderful level design full of various pathways to get from point A to point B. And to jump the gun a little bit, this is probably the biggest reason why I keep revisiting this game. Every repeated playthrough just offers you the choice to tackle the levels as you please. And even the visuals, the levels visually just look really appealing. It's honestly kind of surreal to see Genesis style levels be remade in a 2.5D style. And it's surreal to see the adventure levels too get a higher poly remake. I just love how the game looks and how the levels are constructed. And it feels like there was genuine effort placed into giving these levels new life. And I love all the levels except for Planet Wisp, but I think everyone hates that level, honestly. And if I had to pick, I think levels like Chemical Plant and Rooftop Run are by far my favorites. There's so many pathways, so many things you can do, and Chemical Plant specifically really lets you kind of get crazy with it if you really want to. That's the level design I like seeing in these Sonic games. I like being able to break the rules a little, have fun with it, do some crazy and wacky shit, and in this game, you can do crazy and wacky shit. However, everything's not perfect. Despite these praises, I do feel that sometimes the controls can be a little off, mainly for classic Sonic. Despite being a Genesis Sonic, he doesn't really control like the Genesis games. It's not as bad as Sonic 4 Episode 1 though, but it's definitely not as good as the Genesis games still. You can't really roll to gain speed, your jump's a little awkward. I kind of found a couple points where the jump didn't feel far enough. I don't really know what I would consider it. But still, I don't find it as awkward as the 2D control in Sonic Lost World. And despite that, classic Sonic's still pretty fun in this game. His spin dash is pretty fun to use. That motherfucker can do some shit. And he has the elemental shields as well, which they work really good in this game. Obviously, they have their moments, and if you know when and where to use it, you can kind of break some shit, but it's glitches you have to go out of your way for, and they're just comical ones, honestly. Like, nothing game breaking. And on that subject, I'm playing this through Sonic X Shadow Generations, and considering all my years playing the original Generations, I can comfortably say that the game felt pretty much one-to-one with the original. I didn't run into any issues, and I didn't suffer a seizure because of graphical errors. My game saved, my game file didn't corrupt, that's all I'm gonna say. The updated version of this game also does include the drop dash for both Sonics, but Jesus Christ, it's so useless here. You literally have a boost button and the spin dash is fucking broken. Why do you need a drop dash here? I personally find it pointless. If you like it, more power to you. And of course, you know, it wouldn't be a Sonic game without a fantastic soundtrack. And boy, this game's got bangers. All the stage themes, all their remixes are just wonderful. And the fact that you can change the music out with unlockable tracks that are unlockable in game, obviously. You can completely change the vibe of a level, like make it more energetic or more calm, it doesn't really matter. The choice is yours. One could say the possibilities are endless. I'm so sorry. You can spice up a level or make yourself chuckle like a dumbass because you picked an out of place song for the hell of it. I think if I had to pick though, the Metal Sonic Boss Remix is definitely one of my favorites. And if it wasn't obvious, Speed Highway is too. I think they killed the remixes, like I said. Despite all of the praise though, this game is pretty short. I think my playthrough for this little look back was like only 2 hours long, and I was just going from point A to point B. I wasn't like doing any extra shit. I was completing the mandatory levels of challenge acts, doing the bosses, and beating the game. However, there are extra things you can do to add a little playtime. Red rings can be collected to unlock concept art, music, and extra skills. There are challenge acts which are mandatory to complete the game, albeit only need to do 1 per level, but there are over 90 of these things, and once again you unlock music, concept art, and extra skills for your character too. These challenges are a mixed bag, honestly. There's some fun ones, and then there's complete bullshit ones. But hey, you're allowed to pick which ones you want to do to complete the game, so there's no forcefulness. I haven't really talked about the story that much, and to be honest, that's because there's not much to it. Again, the whole basis of the game is both Sonics going through each zone, restoring the zones and their friends. And outside of the first 2 levels, the characters don't really acknowledge, you know, the levels themselves. It would have been nice to see, like, the characters that you rescue reflect on the level, or just the Sonics in general reflect on the level they just went through. And with the whole story thing, when we got Shadow Generations, Sonic Generations got a little story rewrite. It's not much, honestly. There's like a few like added pieces of dialogue, mainly when you rescue the friends and shit. And I do find that added dialogue be pretty cool. I always chuckle at the unintentional implication that Sonic ate Angel Island Zone. Outside of that, there's not really much I remember about the rewrite, except for the fact that Sonic remembers the time stones. That's a weird little detail, I guess. But all in all, I still find Sonic Generations to be the best boost game. I mean, after all these games, this one still, to me, stood the test of time. And despite my critiques about this game, I think the highs of this game are still higher than Shadow Gens, which is why, to me, I kind of put it above Shadow Gens every time I rank it. If you somehow haven't given it a shot, go for it. Like I said, it's $50 for both Shadow and Sonic Gens. And at the time of this video, the games were just on sale. I don't know if they still are, but the game was as low as $20, which I think is the lowest I've seen this game be on sale for. Before I end this video, I just want to take the time to say thank you guys so much for all the support on the Sonic Frontiers video. This little mini series I'm doing kind of came out on a whim, and the Sonic Frontiers video was also kind of made on a whim. And if you're wondering why it took me until this video to say something and acknowledge the support, like in a video, it's because the other 2 videos were recorded like right after each other. I plan to try to do this little series and keep it going. I'm not gonna make any promises because I'm very weird about this shit sometimes. But my main goal is to look back at all the 3D Sonic games that I currently own or have played a decent amount in the past. But maybe one day I'll end up looking at the games that I don't currently own and never played. Those games being games like Forces, Shadow the Hedgehog, Unleashed, if you can believe that. I've only played and beaten it 1 time. So I do apologize if there's gaps between videos. If you're looking for a specific game for me to talk about, probably not going to happen here. I'm also kind of on the fence about doing Sonic Heroes, but I'll see about that. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for the support once again, and I will see you guys when I see you guys. Peace out, y'all.